Hello, everyone. Hi there. Welcome to our live session again today for another live. Good to see you all over here. I am Dr. Anshul Gupta, a functional medicine physician, a former Cleveland Clinic physician from US, and specialize in thyroid health and inflammation and wellness. And we are doing these live sessions so that we can give you some education about things that you can do on the regular basis to improve your health, wellness in a more natural way and fashion, and give you some actionable things. That's the goal. And then obviously answer some questions. Okay. So these are way that I can interact with you, because a lot of people, have seen a lot of our videos and they're always concerned and they have always asked questions. Well, you share so much information and so much knowledge, like we sometimes get lost into what we should do and how, right? So that's the reason, like whatever questions you have, if you've seen our videos, if you have confusions about certain supplements or certain things that I've shared with you and how you want to implement it, this is the time to ask these questions. As you know, a lot of the information that I share, or almost all the information I share, has research backing to it, right? So that's the beauty about things, that there is so much research which is out there about so many natural things which you can use to get your health back. So that's what my goal is, to present you the latest information which is out there, so you guys can use it to improve your health, especially thyroid health, inflammation, autoimmune diseases, and things. Okay. So great. Yeah. So please, first of all, introduce yourself. And today I want to kind of give you this opportunity to share your pain points regarding your thyroid. Okay. What is that major issue you are dealing with related to thyroid or inflammation, which you have not improved? Because that's where I'm going to pick up my next topic for my live sessions. So let's say, do you suffer from weight issues, or do you suffer from fatigue or brain fog or gut problems, bloating, pain, mood changes, stress, depression, infertility, hormonal issues, whatever it is there. Okay, please share this in the chat section, because the topics, or like the problems that I see most more over here, is the topic which I'm going to start covering in the next live session. So I'm here hearing you out, but you have to share so that I know what are your pain points, what are your problems. Without that, I will not know. I will not be able to share my knowledge about those things. So please share everything that you are going through, so that will help me to cater to your particular needs. So that way you will feel heard, and you will also benefit from all of this information we are going to share. As you know, today I'm going to do a short presentation about, especially talking about thyroid health, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's disease, and what food is good for you, what food is not good for you, right? And we are going to be very, very focused about thyroid in general. Obviously, you might already know about a lot of foods that you should be eating in general about thyroid, or to reduce inflammation and things. But today I'm going to be very, very specific about things that you should absolutely include, which will give you the right nutrients, right things to support your thyroid specifically, and how to do it and things. Okay, so that's what the today's topic would be around, specifically food for thyroid, especially if you have Hashimoto's disease, hypothyroidism, even hyperthyroidism. This might be useful for you. Okay, so good. So yes, good morning, everybody. Let's say, some people have, issues with weight that they are dealing with. So that's what we are definitely, that's something that we can cover. Pain, inflammation, brain fog, headaches. So that's good. That's great to know about that. People are joining us from everywhere, from Pittsburgh, from East England, but again, from UK. Main issues with low energy, okay, and increasing belly fat. Yes, belly fat is a major problem. So again, guys, like please share in the chat section what are your problems that you are going through. So that way, as I said, the future things I can, future my topics I can cover, from your basic issues that you're dealing with. So please share in the chat section, so I will know what is going on with you. Okay. Fertility related issues. Dr. Jyotsna is joining us from Rajasthan. Welcome over here. 8-year-old is diagnosed with hypothyroid and asthma. So absolutely best manage this condition. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. The food that is going to be useful. So yes, you can definitely include that. Want to optimize my thyroid and HRT. Have MS and lupus. The anticoagulation positive antibodies. Wow, you have a lot of issues going on with you. Yeah, a lot of autoimmune conditions, and that's the biggest problem. Once you have one autoimmune condition, your body tends to create other autoimmune conditions too. Okay. Elena is joining us from Miami, and this question is that basic blood work should be done to understand how your thyroid is working. Certainly, like I would like to answer those questions in the end, so we'll certainly do that. Um, well, let me just quite quickly answer a couple of questions over here. So, basic blood work to check would be TSH, free T3, free T4, the TPO, which is the thyroid peroxidase antibodies, and the thyroglobulin antibodies. Those will definitely be a basic blood work that each and every thyroid patient should get, because you need to know whether you have Hashimoto's or not. And if you once get diagnosed with Hashimoto's, most of the doctors will not run those labs again. But I keep them repeating those labs so that I can check the antibody levels, because you need to know whether your antibodies are increasing or decreasing. Because if your antibodies are decreasing, that's the only way for you to get better. Okay. So that's good. So please, as I said, kind of keep sharing what all issues you're dealing with: slow metabolism, brain fog, restless leg, able to not gain weight, Baker's cyst. Great. Okay, good. Well, please keep sharing in the chat section what you are going through. So we will definitely be doing that. But let me start with my presentation, so at least we can cover that piece. It is also because I don't want to kind of keep people waiting over here, which has showed up on time to listen to this presentations. Okay, so let's start with that. Mainly, as I said, talking about foods that heals versus food that harm your thyroid. So we want to know both about those things. So that's what we are going to covering today. So why that is important? Because obviously there is, thyroid disorders is one of those most important epidemic, I will call it, that we are living into worldwide. Like there are millions and millions of people going through thyroid disorders. So that's the reason it is so important. And then, like everybody over here might have heard this like thing about, okay, well, you have normal labs. Okay, well, what does that normal labs means? But I still have symptoms. Okay, a lot of people, like, will just be living with those symptoms forever, and they will feel that is their new normal. But I will say that no, that is not the case. You can improve your symptoms, you can improve your thyroid, you can improve your antibodies. So definitely very important. Okay. Okay, so as I shared with you, the today's thing will be very much focused towards um, specific things that you need to do to improve your thyroid. Okay, so that's what we are doing over here. So nutrients that the thyroid needs. Okay, if you have heard me talking and things, there are certain nutrients your thyroid needs, which is selenium, zinc, magnesium, iodine, and then antioxidants, which basically helps to reduce inflammation in your thyroid and also helps you reduce antibodies. And then, as you know, there is a great gut thyroid connection. Until your gut is fixed, your thyroid doesn't get better. So definitely we need to, include foods or include things to improve our gut. Okay. Now, sometimes food is not enough. Okay. So if you have tried the best diet, you're sitting over here doing those check marks. Well, yes, I eat this, I eat this, I eat this, or like, things which I am not supposed to eat, I'm not eating this and things. So my diet is perfect, still not getting better. Well, that's where supplementation can be useful, because your body might need higher amount of those specific nutrients and specific supplements. Okay. So sometimes that is needed. All right. So that let's first talk about the foods that heal the thyroid. Okay, in that way, as you know, selenium and zinc are the topmost food that you need to eat. So that's very important to do that. How do you get selenium and zinc? Okay, these are the tricky minerals to get from the diet. So I always tell people, like, you have to be very, very specific with that. So like selenium, there are not many foods. The only food which we know that enough selenium is present is is Brazil nuts. So highest source of selenium, most people do not have Brazil nuts in their diet, unless you have heard certain videos or heard somebody talking about Brazil nuts as good for thyroid, then you are including it. 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a daily basis can give you enough selenium to support your thyroid health. The problem what we have noticed is that, like world over, different varieties of Brazil nuts are there. So the selenium levels in Brazil nuts can, vary a lot. It can be anywhere from 30 to 40 micrograms to up to 60 micrograms of selenium in a single Brazil nut. Okay, sometimes even higher. How do you know how much selenium are you getting, right? That's a problem. The second thing is that how they're grown affects a lot, right? The soil that has been grown, if it is not replenished with these selenium and other minerals, then again those Brazil nuts have lower amount of selenium. Okay, so that's the biggest issue that we deal with. But yes, in terms of food, the only good source of selenium I will say is the Brazil nuts. Then for zinc sources, pumpkin seeds, lentils, chickpeas, oysters, seafood are good sources. The highest amount of zinc is actually in seafood, especially oysters and seafood will have very high amount of zinc. Obviously, if you're vegan or vegetarian, then your options would be your lentils, your chickpeas, your pumpkin seeds. Those are good sources of zinc. The problem, unfortunately, for vegans or vegetarian people is that the zinc which is present in pumpkin seeds and lentil and chickpeas or the vegetarian foods sometimes is not bioavailable. That means it is not very well absorbed in the gut. Okay. So you might be eating those foods, but your body might still be lacking the zinc because it cannot absorb that zinc from those particular foods. On the other hand, oysters and seafood are good, but again, if you're frying them and too much seafood, sometimes can backfire with things. So you have to be eat in moderation. But yes, like these are the zinc sources. Some other foods I like over here is mushrooms. Okay, mushrooms. A lot of people eat them and don't eat them. I like them because they do have some selenium. They do have some vitamin D. Now, as you know, there are very few foods which have vitamin D, and mushrooms can be one of those foods which can have vitamin D. Specifically, if they were grown in an area which they were exposed to sunlight, and when they were growing, so then mushrooms can have vitamin D because they can inherently make vitamin D. So I will say include mushrooms. As you know, there are different varieties of mushrooms: button mushrooms, reishi mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, you know, all those different varieties. Each and every varieties have different nutrients in them. So if the more varieties of mushrooms in your diet, the better it is. So I will say like very nutrient dense food, especially for thyroid patients. So include mushrooms in your diet. That definitely will give you a lot of nutrients. Then eggs. Eggs are again a very complete nutrient profile. A lot of people think that it's only about proteins. Not the case. Eggs have other vitamins and minerals. Okay, it also has some antioxidants, especially the egg yolk. And again, this is the thing that a lot of people will throw away the egg yolk and eat only the egg white. Well, egg white is great, gives you the protein, but the egg yolk is where all the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants is present. Okay, so very nice profile, but the egg is actually a double edged sword for thyroid patients. For some patients eggs works great, give them the nutrients. For other patients they are so sensitive to eggs because it can cross react with dairy and cause harm. The second thing is that only if you have good access to good quality eggs, where the chickens are actually roaming around, on the pastures, they have given good diet and good food, then only those eggs are good. But those store bought eggs are the worst. If you have not seen my videos how to differentiate between good and bad eggs, please go ahead and check it out if you're eating eggs, because you need to know how to differentiate between good and bad eggs and what is the best way of eating them, because that's very very important. Okay, because you need to know how to eat your eggs properly and source the good quality eggs. Okay, so that's where like these are zinc and selenium sources. Foods are the most top most important foods, must include foods if you have thyroid disorder, so that you can get these things. Okay, now as if you cannot eat them, or if you're eating them still not getting results, then you can do this thyroid balance supplement that we have created. Right, it has zinc, selenium, it has l-tyrosine, it has a little bit of iodine, a little bit of like adaptogenic herbs, and other some vitamins like D and B's, all of that stuff, which in like in one capsule basically you get a lot of these things, so you don't have to source it from different places. So you can buy it, we have it available in our store that will give you this thyroid balance. So that's the selenium and the zinc piece of it. Then magnesium, right? So magnesium is another very important mineral that is thyroid is needed, right? Why that is the case? Because magnesium is required to convert the inactive thyroid hormone T4 to the active form, which is the T3. Okay, so that's what you can do that. Magnesium takes part in more than 300 enzymatic reactions, so very very important. It plays a significant role in your inflammation, in thyroid, in literally everything from your body. Okay, so foods, which are high in magnesium is avocados, leafy greens, almonds, steel cut oats. So these are the foods you can include on the daily basis to improve your magnesium levels. And these are all healthy foods, as you will see. So I will say that definitely at least one food of magnesium should be included each and every day, so you can get enough magnesium. Okay. Magnesium again helps in relaxation, in energy, mitochondrial health, infertility, hormonal health, inflammational health, immunity, all those things. So literally, magnesium is good for everything that your body needs. Okay, so I will highly recommend that. It is a must do that you should include at least one magnesium food on the daily basis. Then again, if you want to buy the supplement, then that's a supplement of magnesium, which I have shown over here, has magnesium glycinate and other magnesium malate. So specific forms of magnesium, which is very very highly absorbable form, because that's what your body needs, right? A right form of magnesium which directly reaches your bloodstream. Okay, so yes, I will recommend trying this supplement out. Definitely will be good for your supporting your thyroid, but making sure that you include magnesium rich foods. Okay, anti-inflammatory foods, as you know, inflammation is a root cause of any thyroid problem, whether it is hypothyroid, whether it is Hashimoto's, or hyperthyroidism. So make sure you're including anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric, green tea, salmons, because that gives you the omega 3s, chia seeds, because again that gives you the omega 3s, that also gives you fiber. Coconuts are good, whether it is in coconut milk, whether it's coconut oil, all those are great. Like, as a lot of Indian people who are joining us, coconut plant is one of those plants which is very revered. So that this is a life-giving plant, because literally it has so many health benefits. So that's the reason I love coconut. So in whatever way or form you can include it in your diet will be good. This will help in reducing inflammation in your body. Okay, so again, at least one anti-inflammatory food you should include on the daily basis, so that you control the inflammation that was going to support lowering your thyroid antibodies and also supporting your thyroid gland. Okay, so turmeric, you can make turmeric teas, you can add it to your food. Green tea, again, some people with thyroid disorders are sensitive to caffeine, so yes, I'm not a big fan of caffeinated beverages. You can do decaf green tea, or maybe just a 1 cup of green tea in the morning. That is something that you can do, that will be helpful in supporting antioxidant levels for your body. Okay, if you're vegan vegetarian, obviously you can stop, you don't have to do the salmon, but do the chia seeds and the coconuts. As you know, we have this flagship product in Inflamapro, awesome great product, which has all the literal anti-inflammatory things into it, like turmeric, ginger, quercetin, resveratrol, you name it, all the anti-inflammatory things, all the herbs are added into this one supplement. Works really really good for reducing inflammation, for autoimmune diseases, for thyroid health. So that's something that you can buy. So anti-inflammatory food, at least one anti-inflammatory food on the regular basis each and every day is what you need to include. Okay. Okay, so then comes the foods that heal the thyroid, which is the iodine and the gut supporters. Okay, so the first of all, the iodine containing foods, right? So as you know, CV. So first of all, iodine, right? It's a double-edged sword. A lot of people think, well, is iodine good or bad? And then everybody has their own opinions. My opinion is based on research. Research is very clear. If you have low iodine, then that is bad for your thyroid. If you have very very high iodine, then you are bad for your thyroid too. So that's where, like, from food purposes, you can have some iodine, and a very low dosage of supplementation is fine. So seaweed is the best natural source of iodine. Otherwise, unfortunately, you might have to rely on iodized salt that way. Seafood is definitely high in iodine. So seaweed or sea vegetables or seafood is a source of iodine. Then I want to kind of share this myth over here. A lot of people again and again ask me this question. Well, I have been told broccoli and cabbages and cauliflowers. Each and every doctor tells me that. I've searched on a lot of YouTube videos, and everybody talks about you should not eat these foods because these are goitrogenic foods that interferes with absorption of iodine and blah 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 things and stuff. Well, this is a very old research, guys. Okay, this was a research done in 90s. Okay, which at that point of time, the number one reason of hypothyroidism was iodine deficiency. Now that is not the case. Number one of hypothyroidism currently is Hashimoto's disease. More than 90% of people who have hypothyroidism will have Hashimoto's disease. Okay, 90%, more than 90%, guys. So if you have never heard of Hashimoto's disease, please look that up. If you don't know whether you have Hashimoto's disease, then you need to know today, okay, by doing that blood tests for Hashimoto's. But broccoli, cabbages, and cauliflowers are really good for Hashimoto's because they are very high in sulforaphane compounds, which helps in detoxification. They are very high in antioxidant compounds, which reduces inflammation. So again, include them. Okay, I'm not saying that these are the must-have foods that each and every meal should have cabbage or cauliflower, but I'm just saying that it is perfectly fine to include these foods because, as I said, they do have value in Hashimoto's or thyroid patients. Okay, then comes the fiber rich foods, okay, because we want to feed that good bacteria in the gut, right? Everybody is talking about fermented foods, which you might already know about, right? Kimchi's, sauerkraut, kombuchas, non dairy yogurt, and things, right, which are good with fermented food probiotics. But people don't get enough prebiotic foods, okay? This is where fiber rich foods have prebiotics, and you needed to feed this good probiotic bacteria, okay? So make sure non-starchy vegetables, fiber-rich foods, your lentils, your legumes, your seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, all are very high in fiber. Make sure you include that. That supports your gut health and in turn will support your thyroid health also. Okay. So must include foods. Okay. These gut health foods are must include. All right. So that's the case. Now, foods that harm, right? We talked about food that heals. We need to stay away from food that harms. Okay. So these are the foods that typically will harm thyroid patients because these are what we call as hormone disruptors. Soy, coffee, corn, gluten, right? So gluten is on the top of the list. I think each and every person should know about gluten. If you have not heard that gluten can be bad for thyroid or in general for a lot of people, then you need to start researching and looking into that. Corn, because the majority of the corn worldwide is completely genetically modified, and this genetically modified corn causes leaky gut and causes damage. So that's the reason I'm not fan of it. Same thing is soy. Soy is again highly genetically modified, so I don't like it. So want to stay away from it. Coffee is not alone over here, and I hate to put coffee over here because I'm also a coffee lover. So it hates for me to put the coffee over here. It is about caffeine. Okay, so caffeine, is a toxin that our body has to process, like sugars, right? So that's where caffeine, whether it is in the tea form or in the coffee form, puts pressure on your hormonal system and actually causes you to feel more tired and fatigued. So less is good. Okay, a lot of people are drinking 2 or 3 cups of tea or coffee every day basis. I think that's not healthy or good. Maybe 1 cup if your body tolerates it, and if you don't have to do it, or if your body works without better with caffeine, I will just say that just don't do the caffeine at all. Then inflammation triggers. Okay, these are the foods which causes inflammation, and we need to stay away from them also. Vegetable oils, processed food, high salt foods. Okay, so high salt foods basically again foods like processed foods, like are basically will be high salt foods. Vegetable oils, so again most people are using a lot of canola oil, vegetable oils, grapeseed oils and things for cooking. Stay away from them. Include olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oils, even Indian ghee. Those are all good oils to actually include in your diet. So stay away from these inflammation triggers. I think that will be very, very useful for you. Salt, right? Again, this is a big debate. Everybody loves their salt, and everybody has a different salt they want to use. Some people use Himalayan salt, Some people want to use rock salt. Some people want to use sea salt. Nobody wants to use a table salt because they think it is made from chemicals. Well, if you are living in an area or if you do not have any food which has iodine into it, then iodized salt is your only option. Iodized salt literally saved the whole global population from thyroid issues. So yes, you might hate me for saying that, well, you are promoting a chemical of a table salt. Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people, there is no iodine in their diet. So then, we have to make these judgments and take a call which is best for us, right? So, yes, Himalayan salt, rock salt might have other minerals, but we can get other minerals from anywhere else. Iodine, we do not get. So, if you are not eating any seafood or sea vegetables, so make sure you get some iodine into your diet. A lot of people might have heard some other practitioners causing, well, high iodine is causing all the Hashimoto's. We can prove it and this and that. Well, unless again you are eating iodized fortified salt or iodized fortified food and things, you do not get high on iodine. Okay, so those people have very talking about population in very different pockets of areas in certain parts of the world or even in certain countries, very specific population. So use your common sense. Okay, that's what I tell people. So that's that salt debate that you might be hearing over here. So I want to also share with you, like, how you guys know that I like these drinks. Share a lot of different drinks, on the channel, and I think a lot of people are already getting tired with them. And then a lot of people think, well, there is so much to drink. What should we just keep drinking these drinks or eat something? Well, again, the goal is to keep sharing new information, and some, there are everybody is different. Some people like one particular drink, and for them some drinks works great, for others it doesn't, right? So try it out, guys. Start listening to your body. That's the only way. There is nobody in this world which is has the same genes as you, right? So some food, some combination of foods might work better for you and some doesn't. Okay, so try it out and see how that works for you. So this is what you can do, which is a lot of things which helps with your thyroid health, like turmeric, coconut oil, and then the black pepper, warm water and honey, and then green tea, as you were talking about, if you want to include that. This can be a very great way to doing it. Basically, you do it in the morning. Okay, so you can do it in the morning. Basically, you can just warm up 1 cup of water, and then you can add, if you have fresh turmeric, that is great. If otherwise, you can just add turmeric powder. You can add some black pepper to it, like one half or 1 teaspoon of extra virgin coconut oil into it, and then some honey, and then you can just drink it. Okay, this is good for your thyroid because it is a complete anti-inflammatory drink which will support your thyroid health. So try this out early in the morning as soon as you wake up to support your thyroid health. Would be good for you. If you're trying the other trees also, that is fine, but this is the one that some of my thyroid patients have really liked it. So also very important to know the timing secret. So medications 1 hour before food. So if you're on if you are on thyroid medications, make sure um, it is a 1 hour away from food. So take it as soon as you wake up. No tea, no coffee, no other drinks that I mentioned. Wait for at least half an hour, 45 minutes before you do anything. Otherwise, the thyroid medications do not work. Okay. Brazil nuts, if you are including them in your diet, do them in the morning because that's where they get digested properly, and the selenium in them reaches your thyroid gland. Okay. And that golden elixir that I shared with you, take it before breakfast. Okay. In the morning, this drink which I shared with you, take it in the morning. Okay, not late in the night or so, because the coconut oil and all the other things are basically working to jumpstart your body properly. Okay, so that's what I will say. So these are some of the things I wanted to share with you. Kind of daily meal plan, which I like to kind of share again, give you more actionable things. Options for breakfast, you can do steel cut oats, you can add some chia seeds and Brazil nuts into it. That is a common breakfast. As you guys know, I like breakfast smoothies. You can prepare those. Lunches can be your spinach, avocado, and the salad, which is salmon. So that gives you omega 3s. Avocados gives you your magnesium. Spinach gives you your vitamin K and other antioxidants. So again, a complete meal for your thyroid. Dinner, again, mushrooms that gives you selenium, gives you vitamin D. Broccoli with turmeric will give you the sulforaphanes, antioxidant compounds. Turmeric will give you curcumin. So again, everything that is needed by your body, by your thyroid, is available over here. Okay, snacks, soaked almonds or just almonds in general, or your nut butters or nuts and seeds is what you can do. So that's what you can do. Okay, so yeah, kind of this is a sample 1 day plan that if you want to gives you some ideas about how you can plan your meals. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you, that also to kind of give you an ideas and things. So that's what there. And then, as I said, reminder supplements are helpful. So very important. You can include them whenever you can, or if you want to, get your levels better. So key takeaways from today's videos would be, make sure you're including selenium, zinc, magnesium, iodine foods. Eliminate bad foods, which includes the soy, the vegetable oils, the processed food. Gluten, if possible, do that also, and caffeine and sugars. And then again, heal the gut. That is very important. Again, these supplement stacks are really good. You can do that. Thyroid balance for giving you all the things that your thyroid needs. Inflammapro for reducing inflammation. Omegas obviously gives you that highest dose of omegas. Magnesium, very important. That is going to be very useful for you. So that's the key takeaways. If you want to kind of take away anything from this presentation today, this is the slide to know what foods are definitely good and what foods are definitely bad. So that way, like at least you have this cheat sheet. Okay, well, this is a minimum that you can at least do to support your thyroid, lower inflammation in your body. Okay, and then if you cannot do anything at all, right, so basically start with the golden elixir drink and the thyroid balance supplement. Okay, at least this minimum itself will be kind of very life changing for you and your thyroid. So at least this is a minimum that I hope that at least if you don't have time or effort and things, you can do this. Okay, so that is at least a minimum that you can do. So that's what like I wanted to share with you, specifically the foods which are good, specifically the foods which harm your thyroid. So that way you have a clear understanding of specific things that you need to include. Yes, obviously there are a lot of generalized things which has been shared, and detailed information has been shared before about different things on my videos and other things. So you can check that out if you want a complete diet plan and things, which is which I have shared over in several videos. But I wanted to be very very specific today, so you have very very actionable things that at least you can start implementing like today itself in your life, and take actions over there. Okay, good. So now we'll take some questions. So please post your questions, as I said, whatever that you have, into the chat section. Again, as a reminder, I want to ask you to share what next topics you want me to make videos on, as well as for live sessions. Because I want to focus on live sessions around topics around thyroid and inflammation. So please tell me specific things that we I have not shared with you till yet, and you want me to cover in the future. I will be more than happy to cover those for you. So put them in the chat section. So we'll do that, as well as we will take some questions now. Okay, so we'll go from the top because I think some people have already posted some questions before. Okay, let's see. So Crystal has this question that saw a video that turmeric helps inflammation, but not turmeric supplements, just turmeric spice. Your thoughts? Well, that's very interesting. I don't know the logic behind it. This is totally false information, because the turmeric supplements, like if they're made properly, so the active ingredient in turmeric is curcumin. Okay, that's very important thing to know. And curcumin can be extracted and has been formulated in different forms in different supplements. Some people will combine with black pepper to increase the absorption of curcumin. Some people will do liposomal form of curcumin. The other people will combine other antioxidant herbs, like we have done in Inflammapro. We don't add black pepper, but we add other things like ginger, quercetin, rosemary, and other things which improves absorption of curcumin. So absolutely not the case. We have at least 100 plus research studies which shows that the supplements in the turmeric form works good, some better than the others. That's the only thing, but it works. So absolutely not the case. I think a lot of people try to make certain videos in a way that they create more virality, and in that pattern sometimes they will share information which is not completely true. Okay, sometimes they will only share half of the information. Okay, and then they will pick and choose that half an information is shared with you, and then will not be true. So that's as like, so I will feel that way. Maybe they're talking about something else, like that again, at least I'm not understanding, but there is no reason to believe that the turmeric supplements don't work. Okay, so that's great. Let's see what all other questions we have. I think Mira posted over here before, calf muscle. After you walk for half an hour, what can be done about it? Magnesium can be a very, very important mineral. That one of the signs and symptoms of deficiency is muscle cramps. So I will definitely start with magnesium supplementations and see if that improves these calf pains and things. The other thing is, then make sure you're hydrated. Very, very important, because if you're not hydrated, that will also cause you to have calf muscles. Can menopause do it? Yes, it can. Hypothyroidism also does it, because it affects your muscular health. But most of these things can be improved by either taking anti-inflammatory supplements or magnesium supplements. That should help out. So that's good. Okay. So now let's talk about other questions. Vijay Das has this question: suffering from hypothyroidism and type 2 diabetes. Can the food for hypothyroidism help curb both? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, all these foods are healthy, which I've shared with you. So, yes, they can curb or help you with both of those situations. So, yes, like I've shared with you, will help you a lot. Sandra has a question that my mom got diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and she has been diagnosed with Takasu's arthritis, which is an autoimmune condition. Guide us what kind of daily lifestyle actions, which all of these things which I shared over here, or anti-inflammatory diet is what you need to do to help you with that. So the diet that we shared with you should help you also. Okay, let's take other questions. Hmm. So again, stiffness in the body. I hear you. Facing issues with fatigue, weight loss, brain fog. I hear you. So that is great. Dignity has a comment that turmeric and ginger helps with the inflammation from the thyroid. Yes, that's great that it is helping you. That is awesome. Um, Zoo has this question: with the inflammation diet called Herx reaction. It should not. The Herx reaction, for people who don't know about it, is basically a die-off reactions, which happen, like if your body is trying to get rid of certain kinds of candida or bacteria, or sometimes certain toxins. Okay. So typically the anti-inflammatory diet doesn't kill any bacteria, or doesn't kill any candida, or doesn't release any chemicals. But a person who is very, very toxic in chemicals, the anti-inflammatory diet will also open up the channels of detoxification. So some people can feel it, but most time, like the anti-inflammatory diets should not cause any hertz reaction. Okay. Janet has this question. I get 150 milligram of iodine in a supplement per day. I think you might be talking about micrograms. Milligram is a little bit too much of 150. But yes, micrograms of dosage. Uh, if you are getting it, I think generally that's a safe zone to be in. Okay. So between 150 to 200 microgram of dosage is good. So I think you should be fine. You can always do iodine blood test or a urine iodine test that will also tell you more about your iodine levels. Uh, okay, let's see other question. Is there any other way to test for T3, T4 levels other than blood work? Maybe sometimes something like saliva test? No. No, saliva cannot test for your T3 and T4 levels. At least we do not have the test right now. So the only way is to check for is blood, unfortunately. Some companies have created these specialized testing which use finger prick, and then they can give you testing based on that. But yes, blood is needed, unfortunately. So that's case. Do hyperthyroidism cause a lot of chest inflammation? Yes, definitely. Inflammation affects different parts of the body in different people. Some people will have more issues with their chest, some people with their heart, some people with their gut, some people with their mitochondria, brain. So yes, hyperthyroidism can cause inflammation, which can affect your lungs. So absolutely can be doing that. So that's great. Omphaline has a question where doing everything since months and years and still Hashimoto's and feel cardiac arrhythmia. I have low thyroxine hormone, but still stress and fatigue and gut issues. What to do? Well, that's a very complicated thing. If you're still having these symptoms, that means your root causes have not yet been found and addressed. So you need to start looking for root causes, whether you have toxins in your system, whether you what is looking at your gut microbiome. Do you have good bacteria? Do you have bad bacteria? As well as chronic infections like Epstein-Barr virus infection, parasites, overgrowth of bad bacteria, all those things. Okay, so that's where I always tell people that if you're doing literally everything, still not getting better, that means there is a hidden root cause that is causing the problem. So you have to address that hidden root cause, then only you're going to get better. So, Mary Jane has a question. I am hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and then got a hysterectomy. How can I balance the situation? I'm feeling to the surgery there is a disbalance. Yeah, obviously hysterectomy is a big surgery, right? Because you are removing your organs. If they have removed your ovaries, that creates more problems because then obviously you don't have the hormones. But otherwise, like from recovery from the surgery, again going on a good diet is good. Then taking anti-inflammatory supplements to heal, supporting your gut health because during the surgical time your gut gets disturbed. So getting a good probiotic, like would be useful for you, and slowly and slowly things should get better. So Melina has this question. What is your opinion on taking a combination of T4 and T3? In some countries, T3 is not very well accepted. Yes, that is true. T3 is not very well accepted across the board. Even in US, that is a big challenge. Combination T4 and T3 is great. Is it required by each and every person? No. I mean, 90% of our patients are taken only T4 medicine and they still do good. Only 10-15% needs the T3 extra boost because through our protocols we naturally improve the conversion of T4 to T3, so that works out good for them. So it is not needed. You can still do good without it. The trick is finding ways to improve that conversion of T4 to T3. Okay, so that's what you need to figure that out and do that. Okay, so we'll just take a few more questions and then we will end the session today. But as I said, so let's see. My Hashimoto's range is 300, and well, I cannot give you dosage of medicine and all that stuff, but I can. So if you're basically, I'm thinking that your antibody levels are 300. So that's something is concerning. Definitely, you should work on reducing those antibodies. Okay. So again, all the things which I mentioned over here, especially zinc, selenium, iodine, and anti-inflammatory supplements, those things are going to help you in lower these antibodies, and obviously the anti-inflammation diet. So include them on the regular basis. They will be very, very useful for you. So that's good. Okay, so one more question and then we will have to end the session today. But really, thank you guys for joining us. We'll keep doing these live sessions in the future also. If you want to ask questions or has any questions that you want me to answer those, send me my way or join these sessions so I can answer those to you. The goal is to keep giving you information so you can take your own health in your own hands. Okay. Okay. Somebody from Philippines has a question that, I have fatty liver issues. What can I do to sleep early and eat healthy? Well, fatty liver issues again are metabolic syndrome. So work on your diet. Okay. Again, several videos I have created on fatty liver issues. So there are several drinks which can help you improve your fatty liver in the night as well as in the morning, as well as going on an anti-inflammatory diet, and diet that supports your fatty liver is what you're looking at. That will help your insulin sensitivity. Will always help you to lose weight and reduce inflammation. Okay, so that's what you do. All right, guys. So thank you again for joining us today on another live session. Keep showering your love. Keep telling us how we are doing. How am I able to help you out? It always is nice to hear if any of the information or any of the things that I shared with you is useful or not. Those encouragements are always good to know. So please keep sharing that. Keep sharing your thumbs up with us and sharing our videos. And and we'll see you next week again in these live sessions. All right, guys. Take care. Have a very, very nice day now. Bye bye.